Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where in the world you are, and of course, what time of day or night it is either. Welcome to the podcast Up on the Edge with Al and Owen. I'm your host, Alan Nield, Big Al, or just Al, whatever you want to call me. And each week, I'm going to be joined by regular co-host Owen Sherratt and other special guests along the way too. Right, let's get right into it. This is the podcast Up on the Edge. Hiya,
Hey,
Owen.
fancy seeing you there.
What are you doing?
Big boy.
Parts.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So, welcome to the bedroom DJ. Can that staple gun do? What's your staple gun? Have you ever stapled yourself to something?
Shall I do it?
That? Is it are you doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Staple. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but
try and
what?
put a staple in your forehead. No, just put the staple again, yeah, and yeah, just see if it sticks in.
No.
No, you can't. You can't really. No, don't do it.
I'm not doing it.
Don't you dare.
I will end up with
Very
an all in
silly
my head.
boy.
I'll end up with an all in my head, and it's not big.
Yeah.
It's not clever. You shouldn't do it.
No, don't try that at home, kids.
So what have you been doing today?
Fitting boilers, knocking plaster off walls. Yeah, you know me.
And you knock plasters off walls as well?
Yeah, not plaster off walls, fit boilers, anything. Yeah, have hands. You will
We'll travel.
work. Have hands will travel. Yeah, have van.
Yeah.
Have van. Yeah.
Who have you had with you today? Have you had Sue?
Yeah, Sue with us. Sue's with us today. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we had Sue's two nephews. We went and ripped the bathroom suite out on a job. It's empty house, so and then we left them knacking the plaster and everything off the wall, and bagging it all up, and we shot off to Hume, fitted a new boiler, so for ready for somebody moving in a flat on Wednesday. So did that.
I'm interested in this
load up ready
because of my job, but what kind of boilers are you fitting at the moment? What's the thing to fit?
Well, it depends what you want. Some are cheap and cheerful.
Yeah.
Ideal do a nice range, the Atlantic. That's
Right.
nice and cheap, 5-year warranty. The main, which is exactly the same as the Baxi.
Yeah.
They're nice and reasonable cheap. Oh, hello, who's that? Hey,
Look who's here.
fancy seeing you here.
How are you doing?
How you doing, Kate? It's lovely to meet you. I've heard
Yeah.
loads about you.
Well, no, I can't say the same, actually. I've not heard anything about you.
It'll be bad anyway if it's come from I'll tell you. He's jealous of my hair, that's all it is.
Oh, well, yeah.
You got some, yeah, absolutely. How are you, Kate?
You balance each other out, don't you?
Yeah, it's like little and large. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Arnold and Danny.
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
How are you?
So how are you keeping anyway, young lady?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. All
Lockdown's
considered,
treating you well.
Yeah, I would say so. I can't complain. I'm healthy. All my loved ones are as well. So, yeah,
Good.
all's
on.
pretty good in the world. Yeah. How about you?
Well, yeah, I got a little bit poorly with it, but I'm not going to bore you with the details.
Right.
But because I think everyone's heard it that many times now. But it's a nasty old virus, if I'm being brutally honest, and you don't want to catch it because you'll end up off work for 3 months.
I did have it, but I had it really, really mildly.
Wow. Did it
Or is it
spread around
just a
the
loss
family?
of taste and
Yeah, that because otherwise I'd have probably been wandering around and not had a test or anything. It was like a light switch when I lost my sense of smell and taste, and that was the minute where I thought, this isn't just like having a bit of a sinusy cold. So
yeah.
You've not had it, Owen, have you?
I don't know. No, dead lucky. Don't know how, because I've worked in apartments in Manchester, and then 2 days after, I've had a phone call saying, that apartment you were in, one of the lads there had COVID, and that's happened 3 times now. And so I've been tested and everything. I've come back clear. But it's just weird how it affects people, because say the woman across the road, her husband died of it, and they shared a bed, and she never got it. Never contracted it. So, and there's just no. It's like it's just got no current, that you can follow. Yeah, it's just quite random.
Yeah,
myself and Joanne, of course. I was really bad with it. I nearly tapped out in October. It was touch and go for quite a while. But Joanne stayed in the same bed as me. The kids, one of the twins got it. And she was poorly for 2 days and woke up on the third day right as rain. So you just don't know.
No.
No. And have you had any of the long COVID stuff?
Yeah. Still suffering bits and bats. Still suffer with my chest a little bit every now and again. A little bit different from you in respect of when I got it. I thought we weren't going to talk about this. Anyway, when I got it... I gained my sense of smell, which I haven't had for about 10 years. And then after about 2 months, it disappeared again. So strange, but...
Yeah, as I'd had it so mildly,
crazy,
I didn't expect my smell and taste to have gone for so long.
Yeah.
It did take a while to come back, and that really surprised me.
Yeah, but we're all here at the moment. I'm guessing we've all lost family and friends and one thing or another, but, we're the lucky ones. So, hey ho.
Yeah, I'm glad you're
just going back to the loss of smell and taste and thing, was there anything why you'd lost that smell and taste that you just wish you could get back just to smell one thing? Is there something you miss more than anything else to smell of?
It was all of it, actually. And it's one of those things that you think, oh yeah, just lost some smell and taste beforehand. We just go, oh yeah, that, you don't really think a lot of it until it happens. And then it absolutely does your head in.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I found to sort of relieve it was either I was having like Prosecco or Coca-Cola, because it was just the sensation of having something fizzy. Yeah. It was like having a taste, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's so
thing I could get to taste it. Just Prosecco, darling. Yeah.
Or Prosecco, you should be on the Bollinger or, something similar.
Well, I just thought, I'm locked up in a house on my own. COVID or no COVID, I am having a bloody drink. So...
So
that was the mindset.
I'm guessing you've worked all the way through as well then, have you?
Yeah. Nothing really changed, because I'd moved my studio about a month or so before all of this happened. So it was perfect timing. And in fact, I think the builders packed up about a week and a half before we went into lockdown.
Right.
So, and then of course, I mean, for the voiceovers and actors that hadn't got home facilities, I know there was a massive scramble to get themselves, into a cupboard somewhere with a duvet over their heads or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was really lucky.
Yeah.
So it was all really business as normal. Yeah. And there was quite a surge in work at that stage as well, because so much was changing, so much was happening. There were announcements that needed to be made all over the place. And then obviously it all just kind of petered out a bit, and then it's come back a bit. It's been really weird, but so I'm still here.
We've known each other for a long time, in fairness. We worked together at The Revolution.
Yeah, we did.
Back in the day, which is where I met Owen. And, I rue that day, I really do.
He's nearly got me sacked a few times.
I think it might be the other way around. Yeah.
I don't think so. It's nearly got me sacked a few times. And worst of all, it's me that ended up being there the longest, wasn't it, in the end, Al?
Was it?
No, I think it was me. I wasn't it?
No, you left. You left again. And I was still there a couple of years after you'd gone.
Right.
When did you leave, Al?
Because I think all in all, I would...
4 years.
Which time?
3 times I got sacked.
Yeah, it's about 4. Yeah.
So what I was going to say was, how did it all come about? You sort of going into radio, Revolution, or one thing or another. What was the sequence of events?
Well, I landed in radio. It was all by chance, really. I'd moved down south, and I was traveling. I was flying for a while. And then towards the end of my very short flying career, I approached a radio station because I'd just reached that point where, I'd been to drama school. I'd got that training. And I just wanted to do something that was creative again. And I'd actually approached a radio station with a view to doing voiceover. And then when I sent in my reel, I was quite naive at the time. I didn't realise they didn't do all in-house commercials, but I just whacked it in anyway. And they said, well, we'd like to see you. And then they said, would you be interested in doing some work on air at the station? And I said, well, absolutely. So that was me. And they trained me in-house. So I was doing news broadcast journalism at the weekends and then covering shifts. So I was still flying a little bit at that point. And then I left flying because they offered me a job full time. And then within a few months of that happening, I just thought, well, do you know what? I'd love to get back north. And there was a job going at the Rev.
And that's how you ended up there. So when you say flying, what was you doing?
I was cabin crew.
Really?
Trolley dolly?
Yeah. I was a trolley dolly. Yeah.
Wow.
Who for? Okay, I'd imagine it'd be British Airways. Yeah, I thought so.
It was, it was BA. And,
how did you know that Kate would be so English to fly for BA?
No, because to be fair, I mean, it's a tough job, that cabin crew, and I think a lot of people don't realise how bad it is. I mean, it played havoc with my varicose veins, I'll tell you. But yeah, no, I can just tell. It's weird. You kind of get a picture when you say, if someone says, "Oh, I'm a cabin crew, an air stewardess or an air steward," you kind of look at it and think, Monarch. BA, Jet2.com. Yeah, it's weird. But I've travelled with most of them. We're going over Europe, what have you, for the football and stuff like that. So, and you do. And plus, a mate of mine's a pilot. He was with Thomas Cook. He's now with TUI. And since he's gone to TUI, he's not flown a plane. Instead of getting paid and just sat at home.
I know a few pilots. They're going stir crazy.
Yeah.
Have I made it up, or was your dad a pilot? Is your dad a pilot or something?
Yeah. Dad was. Yeah, so he's been retired a good number of years now.
Has he? Who was he flying for?
He was with, so years ago, he was in the RAF.
Right.
When I was tiny. And then when he went commercial, he was with Dan Air out of Gatwick.
Wow.
Do you remember Dan Dare?
Red-leaded Dan Air. Yeah,
I know you're both a bit young, but there was this airline called Dan Air.
I remember Dan Air, because I was born in '69, so I mean, I'm probably a little bit older than you, Kate. But it's a lot older than Feel it today.
Lips are sealed.
Yeah, but I mean, because it's like there's a lot of airlines that were knocking around when I was a kid that aren't there anymore. So
Thomas Cook,
Thomas Cook, God.
That was
and then he went to Air 2000, which was a Manchester-born airline.
It was.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing.
So, did you ever fly with Dad?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, proud daughter moment, wasn't it? Of course.
Well, it might have been proud dad moment.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when in those days as well, when we first moved up, I always remember him coming into my bedroom when we'd just moved up, and he said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "Nothing, Dad. Why?" And he said, "Right, you're coming to Malaga with me." And those were the days when he could just get a ticket, and I sat in the jump seat in the flight deck and just watch what was going on. In fact, he read the Sunday papers there and back, to be honest, but there wasn't a lot else going on.
Is that what these guys do?
It's all automated, though, isn't it? Once you're up now, it's like
it's like Air back in 1942.
1942.
That was a bit different.
Yeah, you can imagine, Kate, just nip out and set the chocks off the wheels wheel of the bloke's not turned up. No, because I know. Like I say, the lad I know, he said it's amazing. He said you fly all over, but you don't really do anything. You're there just in case. So, but he was saying, like, he loves flying into Manchester. He's not so keen on Leeds and Bradford because they've not got that tracking thing. So he's actually got to physically land the plane in some airports.
And
whereas some of them, he does it all for him. So it's amazing.
It's nothing about being over the other side of the Pennines or anything like that. It is just
might be just getting home. It's just
God's own country.
There's nothing worse than working for a living.
I think Helen, Penke's wife, she was was.
Yeah, she was with Monarch. She worked with a good mate. Yeah, she worked with a good mate of mine. Because I remember telling Steve that Pete Tracy, we call him Pete Van Transit because he left the airlines, but working for Ford selling vans.
Right,
so this Pete said, "Oh, you used to work with Ellen on Monarch." He says that we just get Steve to say Pete Tracy says hello. So I said to her, Pete Tracy said to say hello to Ellen. Left it at that, and he went, "And how does he know?" So I went, "Oh no, work with her." So yeah, he got Monarch. But yeah, he worked with Monarch for a while. So, but Pete was. He's one of them. I used to knock around with the pilots when we landed and we had a stopover. I'd sit with the pilots in my uniform. We'd all sit around having a drink and what have you. He said it was amazing. He said, well, the rest of the cabin crew would be off partying and what have you. And you'd be sat with the pilots getting the free drinks.
Were you a party animal then, Kate?
I was actually. Yeah.
Really?
There were good times. Yeah. Oh yeah. You've got to go for it, haven't you? When I was so lucky. I mean, the places that we went to. I went to South America, Africa, the States. It was fantastic.
Yeah, because on the long hauls, you could fly there, couldn't you? You'd end up being there for about a week or 4 or 5 days, spent off and you flew.
I remember the first request that I put in when I was first online, as it were, was a 10-day Seychelles. And you only worked once in that 10 days. And it was a quick shuttle over to Mauritius. Yeah. That was it.
No, it's crazy.
Don't do those these days.
No, they don't, do they? They get the money's worth.
These days, it's a case of you're flying out to the Seychelles and then you've got half an hour on the ground and then you turn around and you're coming back again. Yeah. And that's how it tends to be now. Yeah, which is, I think we tend to go to Egypt quite a lot, or we did when we could get out and about. We got to Egypt quite a lot for the diving. It's perfect for me for the diving. And apparently that's the furthest location that we tended to use Thomas Cook all the time, but that's the furthest location that they flew to that was considered short haul. Everything after that was long haul. But even those guys, so that's a 5.5 hour flight. And then turn around and they do it again. They do it on the way back. So they got the best part of a 12, 13 hour day plus, and then they might get a day off or they might be back on the following day and doing it all over again. So it's not an easy life.
No, and often, your body clock's all over the place as well. So things like the Larnacas, if they were night flights, that's a really, really long night. And then you might be working. You'd have a rest during the day, but then you might be working the following night as well. So, yeah, it can be really, really tough.
Yeah. So, go on, Al.
I was just about to say, so you went over to the Revolution, and then I remember there was lots of antics there, wasn't there? Lots of
and the reason I was asking you before about when you left, because I think there was a bit of a crossover with you and I. We worked with each other for a bit, but I don't think I was there very long while you were there. It was all getting uber cool by the time I'd left, with like Clint Boone and Peter Kay rocking up now and again, and Martin Coogan. It was, and they're quite, trailblazers as well, really, because if you think about it, all the comedians that started getting work presenting, then other stations started doing the same. They really kicked off something big, didn't they? Yeah, they did. There was a lot of faces. You'd walk in one day and you'd be like, all right, it's such and such. And then, like you said, Peter Kay would rock up and it'd just be like, oh my God. And at the time, it wasn't as though he was the guy that was doing bit parts on the television. He had his own TV series. I think the first time I properly met him, he just released Britain's Got the Pop Factor, where he was dressed up as
Geraldine.
There you go. Yeah. And I got in a rake of bother because I'd slated it. I'd proper given it a good idea on air. And Penky came in the following. That was on the Friday night. On a Monday morning, Penky came off the breakfast show and he says, "I need a chat with you. I need a chat." And he said, "Were you talking about Peter Kay or something on Friday night?" I said, "Yeah. Were you listening?" He said, "No, I missed it. He said, "But Peter Kay was on the phone to me yesterday for 3 hours." I'm like, "Oh shit." And apparently, at the end of the conversation, he thought that I was the best thing since sliced bread and suggested to Steve that I should be doing the breakfast show and not Penky, which didn't go down very well, to say the least. But it did get me back on daytime at Revolution away from the evening show. But then what happened was there was a relationship sort of struck up, and Peter Kay used to come in fairly regular. But one of the things that he insisted on for about 2 or 3 months was that he never met me, which I thought was a bit odd until I eventually did meet him. We was in a theatre in Manchester. I turned around and I went, I've got to say hello. I'm Big Al from the Revolution. Why didn't you not want to meet me? And he said, because I didn't want... He says, when you listen to somebody on the radio, he said, you get this picture in your head of what somebody's like. He said, and I didn't want to shatter that illusion. Which I thought was quite nice. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see that out, yeah. You see that out, he's thinking, no, if he's ugly, I just don't want to. I won't be able to listen to him the same.
But he did a lot of Mickey Take sort of sketches and did a few shows and one thing and another, and he was good. He used to turn up quite a lot, and then of course, like you said, all the other comedians would turn up and musicians, and you know, Sean Ryder.
The most famous person that was there when I was there was Jimmy Cricket.
Jimmy Cricket. Did he have his Wellingtons on?
Yes.
Well, you say that. He brought them with him because he had to do a proper big costume change when he arrived. So he turned up in all his civvies, and then he changed into said left and right Wellingtons and the hat and everything. And he had to get changed in the kitchen area. So there wasn't even somewhere where he could get changed in privacy. It's where everyone was going up and down the stairs from the studios.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
What was he like? Was he all right?
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he's great, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually
I kept running down to the studio saying, Hoily, Jimmy Cricket's in the building.
We've had him on. Anyway,
he gets everywhere.
Jimmy Cricket lives around the corner from me. Everyone thinks he's Irish. And he genuinely lives around the corner from me. And my mum taught him how to swim. Yeah. Yeah.
Taught him how to swim well.
There you go. Yeah. So what happened with you started doing the voiceovers then, didn't you, while you was at the Revolution?
Yeah.
And what
That's
happened
right,
there?
yeah.
How did that take off?
Well, the Rev was great, actually, because the station was all open plan and, all the departments, we all mixed, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was like a little family.
Yes.
And I just got to know how the commercial production process worked. It was, it was all there, and I'd been saying for a while that I wanted to do it, wanted to give it a go. So I got my demos done and started sending it off to radio stations and production houses and stuff. And the work started to come in, and you just have those times in your life and career where everything just is flowing and you just have to go with it.
Who taught you that side then? Was it Hoyley, or was it Paul, producer Paul, or who did that for you?
Yeah, it was a lot to do with Hoyley and Kev and all the people in sales as well. And I must apologise because I can't really remember their names. I remember Dave was the station manager, and then
he was the first one to sack me up there, Dave Stankler.
Was he? Proud moment.
Yeah. First of many, Al. First of many.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then I was like really fortunate. The girl who took over as station manager, she was sales manager for a while.
Jackie.
Do you remember her?
Yeah, Jackie.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Scottish.
Yeah.
He's coming back to me now.
She sacked me as well.
Did she?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Love the girl. Give me the boot.
Yeah. You did not cross Jackie. No.
She didn't. No, she didn't quite sack me in the end, but she did say, "Look, you've wound down your hours now to the point that you're sort of taking the piss a little bit, really."
Really? Is that how she was?
I was though.
Right.
I was. So I'd asked about doing my hours in the newsroom to really suit what I was doing outside of the station as well.
Yeah.
And I was upfront about it, and they said yes, up until the point that she went, yeah, it's time to make a decision now. So that was it. and I just had to jump.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it took a little while to build up, but no, I have to say it was all just falling into place.
Do you remember your
yeah,
first
really
ever?
lucky.
Do you remember your first ever voiceover?
Yeah, it was actually for Nokia. And it was a corporate script, and big brand, but it was like an internal pitch thing for a marketing agency.
Right.
And
How did that go?
Remember. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Me being me and being a bit of a novice, I think I probably sent them so many takes that they were absolutely sick of the sound of my voice and just went, "Oh, for God's sake,
We'll have that
let's
one.
just tick this box." Yeah.
Give it it's fine.
Yeah. And then, it's quite nerve-wracking to begin with when you're doing the live, even just radio commercials, 30-second radio ads and stuff. Yeah. Because when you start a new business, you're working with new clients every single time you're working, and it's such good practice, and it's the only way to do it, because you just dive in and then you get confident.
Yeah.
And what have you done sort of more recently then that we might know?
So, scratch his head. No, I have been doing a lot. I forget them.
All right, let me put a couple of names to you, because I think that when I'm watching television or when I'm out and about, I turn around to Joanne and I go, "That's Kate," and she goes, "How do you know?" I said, "I can just tell it's Kate. I worked with her for long enough." So I'm going to say Pan 10 Pro V.
Yes.
That was you.
Yes.
Because you did a few commercials for them, didn't you? I can tell the voice.
Yeah, I did a lot. And they were great as well. When you get those gigs and you're going into Soho and, you're swinging through the doors and you think, yeah, I'm playing with the big guns now.
Really?
It feels good.
You're not doing that stuff at home then?
Well, yeah, I am doing that kind of stuff at the moment, but,
right.
I can't wait to start going back and going into studios in person. There's nothing like it, really.
Right.
It's just not the same.
So what do they do? What's the process there? Do they take you into a TV studio or something?
Yeah, you'll go into like a post-production studio, and you're working to sync up on the screen. Basically, you're working to the visuals.
Wow.
So I remember once I was sitting there waiting patiently to go for my session, and Rob Brydon came in and waited on the sofa next to me, and he was doing a commercial in the next studio, and I thought, I'm really mixing with the stars now. I like it.
Did you not think, I wonder how much he's getting for this?
Oh yeah, probably a damn sight more than I was.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes you think, well, he's no better than me. Can he command that £1,000 a word? But yeah, it's amazing, because I did a couple of voiceovers for Cosgrove Hall for a couple of pilot cartoons, and I found the syncing in with stuff. I found that really hard to do that. Especially because it was like one of the first gigs I'd got. And I'm thinking, God, I'm well out with depth there. But I managed to muddle through it. And
I think that's,
he said,
I think that's the perception of doing that animation stuff. You think it's all fun, but actually it's really technical and it's really repetitive.
Yeah, of course it is.
So,
so what comes first there then? Is it the visual that comes first, and then you put the voice to the visual?
Yeah.
It can depend on the production, but yeah, most of the time. And but then you'll do some to the visual, and then actually some will just be recorded dry, because they'll want so many different intonations of the same phrasing.
Right.
So it's a long old process.
Yeah. And the other one as well, when we do our weekly shopping.
Oh yes, forgot to mention that one.
Oh, did you? Every time I go in Aldi, is that your voice there too?
Yes.
Got it.
Check
but it's not recorded. I'm live. I'm live in the back room
all the time in every shop. You're live.
Absolutely. I'm up and down the country like you wouldn't believe.
Kate, the retainer on that gig must be ridiculous.
Do you know what? When I was asked to do that, we just had no idea how big it was going to be. And
Who's the we?
Myself and my agent.
Right.
Yeah, collective. Yeah, we just didn't know. But that sometimes happens. You know, it's just sometimes the bit of luck of the game. So
is there like a league for voiceover artists, like, you know, and where do you sit in that league now? Have you ever sort of worked that out?
No, because I'm just at the top, Al.
I could tell
all the time. You know.
I could tell just by speaking to you. I thought, so this girl's top of the game there.
I knew years ago just how potentially good Kate was going to be, and then something happened one day. She was doing the breakfast show, and Kate, as ever, was doing the news, and she came in and she was really excited, and I said, "What are you excited about?" She says, "I've bought my website." I said, "Oh, right, okay. What have you bought?" And she'd bought the voiceover website, and it was, if I remember rightly, correct me if I'm wrong, as English as.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still have that?
No. Oh. No, so that was... however,
and it suited your voice so much. It was absolutely you.
Well, am I allowed to do a big reveal?
Yeah, go on, do it.
On here. Well, there is a little bit of massive bit of rebranding going on. So, yeah, there is going to be a launch of something new. So I've been Kate Whelan voiceover for the last 5 years, something like that. And, yeah, I just fancied a change. And I wanted to go back to something similar to As English As. So, yeah.
So are you going back to that?
Not back to that, no. A different name.
Don't leave us hanging.
Rebrand.
Owen, work your magic now. Work your magic.
Yeah, I'm being a fool here, aren't I?
What would you be calling it? Yeah, of course it is.
So, it's www. Have you got that? You're writing it down.
Got it. I've got it.
Yeah, good. Scribble it down. And that's a dot, not DOT.
Yeah.
A truly English voice.com.
A truly English phone. I've not got my glasses on. I'm struggling to read you on right there. .com.
I've got it.
It's there. So when's that been live, or is it live now prior to it going fully?
I reckon it will go live in 2 to 3 weeks. So you're the first to know.
Wow. Well, I feel personally honoured. I really do.
I've just checked it. It's not live.
It's not live yet. Yeah.
So, favourite times at the Revolution, because I keep telling a story, and I think I am almost certain that it was you that I did it to. I sneaked into the studio very, very early one morning, into the newsroom and under the desk.
Okay.
Was it not you that was halfway through a news bulletin when I grabbed your legs? And you just let out
I think it was. I'd remember that, wouldn't I?
How embarrassing is this?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was Hannah. I thought it was you, Kate. That was my claim to fame. I could be walking around Aldi and going, "See, you know this girl? I grabbed her ankles while she was doing a news bulletin."
I'll tell you what, let's go back. You can edit out this bit.
Right, okay, no.
And I'm now going to go, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I remember grabbing your ankles while you was doing a news bulletin. Do you remember that?
Oh, I was livid. I was absolutely livid with you.
I know. It's great, isn't it, when they can't remember now?
Oh, mate. So embarrassing. I'm blushing now.
Poor lad.
Have you had any tricks played on you while you've been on air? Anything sort of like really out there happened?
Yeah, there was a certain presenter who used to put at the bottom of my newsfeed, he used to go up to the newsroom and he'd put a swear word right at the bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
What, who was that?
And I saw him through the window on the other side. He was just waiting for me to corpse. And yeah, he was a swine.
Who was it?
His first name began with a K.
Was it Kev?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
No, you're not, but I am.
Say?
Was it Kev?
Yes, it was Kev.
Was it Kev Bailey? Do you know
No.
not on in 10 minutes?
Not Bailey.
It was called Kev
Bailey.
McLean back then.
Kev McLean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Kev Bailey now, yeah.
Because his real name's Kev Bailey.
Yeah.
He's done a major rebrand
sorry.
like you have, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Truly English Kev.
Truly English Kev, yeah, right. Okay, so that's something I could hold against him because he's on in 10 minutes.
No, is he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Took us ages to get him on.
Oh, we're going to have him on this one. So, what did the swear word start with?
One was with a B.
And what did it end in?
D.
And what was the middle bit?
S.
See, now obviously, my relationship with Kev was he was the gaffer, and he told me off for saying bloody once.
Yeah.
Really?
He told us
terrible.
for a conversation we had about Kylie Minogue and her sister Danny when they were fighting over the pet rabbit back in Australia when they were kids. But actually, if I'm being honest, he started the conversation.
No, I was waiting to go home, Al, and the dudes was playing out. He's just stay there, Owen. Just stay there for a little bit. I've got an idea. So I'm thinking, all right. And then he's going, you're not in a rush to get off, are you? I was thinking, no, I'm all right for 10 minutes and what have you. An hour. He had me playing. He had me pretending to be Kylie Minogue with a Manc deep accent.
A block's accent.
For an hour.
Yeah.
So, we had that, and we did that for an hour, and he nearly got me sat through it.
Yeah. We actually got told that we're not to cross in the studio ever again.
Yeah.
Really?
And that was that
Gosh,
Kev
he must
Bailey.
have changed.
Oh,
Different name.
yes, that's it. So time is running out very, very quickly. That is, it flies by when
Phenomenal.
you chat and
Doesn't it
catch up.
just?
Oh, it's ridiculous. What can we expect in the future? What's happening? The rebrand? Have you got any major clients coming up that you can tell us about? What's going on?
I've got, obviously, the rebrand that I was telling you about. So spanking new website.
Yep.
And a new podcast of my own. Which is which is all about my passion for animals and wildlife. So that's coming up probably in the next 6 weeks or so, I would say.
Because you've travelled all over the world with wildlife stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. It's my big passion.
The conservation.
Life, so yeah. So I'm lucky I've managed to get some guests coming on that I've worked with who have volunteered with out in Vietnam and South Africa and India. So really looking forward to that.
Superb.
And
client-wise, we got client-wise. What's happening there?
Yeah, well, actually, I found out this evening that I have got a nice job on a campaign for a very nice Scottish spirit.
All right.
Brand. So that's been recorded later this week.
Anything to do with why Owen has got a really red nose?
No, that's rosacea, believe it or not.
It's not rosacea. It's rosacea due to a bottle of Naked.
I wish.
I was going to say, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Could be. That was a grouse naked. That was all right. But I like a proper single malt. I'll not so much of the blend.
Right.
And,
because you're posh. And yes, you're both from Cheshire, aren't you? Yeah, I get it. It's fine.
Hey, Cheshire, I'm originally from Longside, mate. On
Is that right?
Yeah, don't come much rougher than
That's
me,
right
mate.
on the border. That's right
on the border.
Yes.
I'm just on the border now in Reddish.
Which is worse, Reddish or Longside? I'm not sure.
Probably Longside, I think. But I love the place. It's brilliant now. Love. It's one of the places I'll just love going back to. Yeah. So when I look around
Are we going to get you back on the radio at any time soon, Kate? Is that going to happen, do you think? Or is that done now? Is there a new era born and you're moving forward?
Well, I kind of see the podcasting in a way as getting back and behind the mic in a different way. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing where that goes, actually, and getting more into being behind the mic as me rather than on behalf of a brand or playing a character and just see where it goes.
Have you got a name for the podcast yet? Have you got
opportunities?
Absolutely. Have you got a name for the podcast yet, or?
I did have, but I'm not going to say it because I'm a little bit undecided again now. Right. So it could be changing.
Like, get wild with Kate, it could be. Get wild with Kate.
That could take on a very different connotation, couldn't it?
It could.
Well, let's see. It could give you a different avenue too.
Absolutely.
It definitely
just
could.
saying.
Yeah. When I said I'm open to any opportunities, I wasn't. Really
you're on Channel 5.
But,
Channel 5 on a Thursday night, 10 o'clock. Not that I know what's on then.
Kate, it's been fantastic. We've got to go now. But thanks very much for joining us. It has been brilliant.
It's been a real pleasure to meet you, Kate.
You too. Take care.
Okay, see you now.
Right, bye. Bye.